Hello, folks. Welcome. It's another Friday evening, and it's greetings and many more greetings from the Journalist Hangout Forum here. I am Citizen Jones. Today on the program, Police Service Commission suspends Abba Kyari's men over cocaine deal, urges IGP to suspend the inspectors, and later on, we'll share this with you. Oyetola, Adeoti, and Lasun test strength as APC elects Osun governorship candidate on Saturday. Let me report I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. I greet you, Jide.
Happy Friday, Citizen Jones.
Yeah, and we have Olabisi Deji Folutile. Bisi, I don't think I've seen you since the year started.
No.
Happy New Year. Happy survival.
Yeah, we thank God.
So you see, the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, let's go straight to business. Lagos State authorities have accepted 26 recommendations of the Toyin Ayinde-led panel on the collapsed 21-story building in the Ikoyi area of Lagos. A white paper published by the government revealed that 2 existing 15-story buildings still standing on the site of the collapsed structure be demolished and handed over to the state government. And I recall that as many as 50 persons were trapped in the collapsed structure. About 44 fatalities were recorded, while 9 people were rescued. Punishing bad behavior is the ideal thing. I don't think we can ask for any other thing, Jide.
Yes, and if we make a habit of punishing bad behavior regularly, maybe we'll be able to put an end to this kind of infractions, or at least bring the figures down drastically, the figure of collapsed buildings down drastically. We do not punish. I am worried that in Lagos especially, these things keep happening. What you hear is threats, so we are going to deal decisively with anybody found culpable. But the elite in our country hardly punish one another. You see people who are highly connected jumping in
the untouchables
to go and save that person.
Yeah.
You know? Even if that person was not originally untouchable, I'm saying that some people will jump in and save him from jail. This is what happens all the time. 44 persons dead. Some of their corpses unclaimed as we speak. The Synagogue Church of All Nations building collapsed, more than 80 persons dead. Majority of them foreigners. We put our nation to shame in respect of that particular tragedy, because even the corpses, the remains of the dead were not properly taken care of. They were already decomposed when they were being taken to South Africa. I hate to remember that incident because I know that we have refused to punish.
Yeah. September 14, 2014.
The developers who are involved in the building and the putting up of that structure were recommended to be punished. We have no evidence that any of them, the developers, had been punished. Instead, the church was using the law, using lawyers to prolong the process. It's just unfortunate
to gain time.
And when we fail to learn from experiences such as the Synagogue Church of All Nations building collapse, where we were fed lies to the effect that it was an aircraft that hovered overhead that caused the collapse. But thank God for the coroner that Babatunde Rajifashola's government put in place, the inquest that was put in place. We were able to discover that they didn't get permission to add more floors.
That's it.
So was it not usually, even in the ministry, some individuals will pass some structures fit when they do not deserve to be passed fit? What do we do about such individuals? We promise to punish, we promise, but it doesn't happen. This one that collapsed, there was a video that went viral when some officials on enforcement duty tried to stop work at the site. Of course, they were resisted by the builder, and he continued to resist them. And unfortunately, what did we see?
See what we have.
What did we see? Go and read the report of the architects on this building collapse. You see clearly that not only were the builders negligent, they were highly irresponsible in causing the deaths of people the way they've done.
Yeah, BC, you know, we can say the same thing about the December 16, 2016 collapse of a church at Uyo. Over 200 people died, and nothing has happened till day after tomorrow. So not punishing bad behavior is a part of the of our malaise, you know. Absolutely,
absolutely. And punishment also, the kind of punishment also matters. I think in this particular case, the fact that the two other structures are going to be destroyed, which also has a huge economic implication for the business. I think that is also very important. You see, it's not just, we need to make the punishment be highly comprehensive, such that it will be difficult for people to even imagine to cut corners or cut costs. Because in this particular case, according to SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, even though all the parts used are genuine, but there are lots of compromises here and there. In cases where they are supposed to use maybe 10 mm iron, they compromise.
That's it.
And they also talked
and for a high rise like
that. And they also talked about the fact that the inspection and the people in charge of the building didn't actually do enough supervision. That if it had been well supervised, a lot of things would have been brought to notice of the notice of the company or whoever. But unfortunately, the owners of the business are also the architects, they are the engineers, and they are the construction firm. So what do you get from that? I think aside punishing them, we should also ensure that we are not in a situation where the builder is the architect, the engineer, and the supervisor, because such are likely to lead to problems.
Apart from punishing, so the right thing should be done.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, my mind goes to the building finished, 21 stories, and tenants have taken possession, and bam, just happened. Can you imagine the harvest of deaths?
Yes. Yeah. Well, in this case, even losses recorded monetarily is also significant, because what we were told was that it was even fully subscribed. People had paid, you know.
I heard so.
So
in dollars.
Yeah. So what do you do? It's even a travesty to pay for such things within our country in dollars. You know, where people truly desire to strengthen their currency, they don't do this. You can't go and buy something in South Africa with the US dollar, except you are in the duty-free shop at the airport.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
You at least I've been there a number of times. You won't. You can't even exchange currency except you go to the designated areas, and your passport will be taken, the records made before you even do that transaction. But here, people can change currency wherever they like. Our currency has been so debased, so devalued, so we have this kind of problem. So I just hope that we learn from this, because the usual threats to punish, that's what we read. At the end of the day, big people will ensure that the people truly deserve to be punished don't get punished, and then it will happen again.
And
again. So it's only the poor people who get punished. The poor people who do not have anyone in Aso Rock or all these big places, National Assembly, who can speak for them. They are the ones who get punished in our nation.
And I hear one phone call is enough.
Yes.
To let the offender
Once
go.
they hear the voice at the other end, that is the voice of a big man.
Yeah.
So it's all over.
Okay, let the debate continue, and we'll go to our next story. You know, the saga of the substandard fuel brought into the country may not end soon. Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC, Mele Kyari, has apologized again for damages caused by the importation of substandard fuel into the country. Now, facing the House of Reps Committee on the downstream sector during a hearing, Kyari revealed that 5 vessels laden with next supplies were refused entry because they were coming from the same source. He revealed that if refineries in the country were functional, we would still need to import in order to augment the more than 18 million liters daily gasoline required for local use. Now, would culprits be brought to book? That's the question here, BC.
Well, just a continuation of what Babajide said the other time, that here the rich don't get punished, the influential don't get punished, and also when we talk about punishments, it's just on paper, in the media. We don't really get to the end of this matter. And in this particular case, why I'm thinking that nobody may be punished at the end of the day,
also it seems,
well, it's because of the defense that the NNPC GMD had already made concerning the importation of that bad fuel in the first instance. He has already told us that they do not test for methanol, which was the culprit in this case. And if he had told us that they do not test for methanol, then we should be asking ourselves that, what do you do if it is not part of the checklist? Who do you punish for not checking out for it in the first instance? So for me, we are just talking about the probe, the investigation, this and that. I don't know if there is any need for investigation here based on what the NNPC GMD has already told us. Because I ask, what are we investigating now? What are we investigating?
Meanwhile, the NNPC has the sole responsibility for determining
who brings the, and he has already told us that don't blame anybody, because that is the implication of that statement. Please don't blame anybody. Usually this fuel went through all the tests that it should have gone through, but unfortunately for us, we did not factor the fact that we could test for methanol. You know, which actually shows that there is a lot of problem in our system, because we don't even know how many things.
And anything is possible.
And anything is possible, because we don't really know how many things we do not check for and which are dangerous to us. You get it? Some people are saying that merely looking at the color of the fuel should at least send some kind of messages to the people in charge. Then it also shows us the sense of mind of the people that are actually in charge of our system.
All right.
How much are they? Look at the color. Look at the color. How do you see this? And you don't, whether you have the ability to check for methanol or not. You see something that is this color, and you know the usual color. So it means that they are we really sure that they are really checking? The absence of mind, the presence of mind, is it there?
You get so terribly upbeat when you say it appears anything can happen in this country, and nobody gets spanked for it.
Because a lot of our people, too, including journalists like you and I, simply listen to these people, wait to be fed with lies. We don't try to do any form of investigation of our own. And when some people go to great lengths to find out whether Nigerian officials were saying the truth, you then hear that, oh, don't mind that Jide, he thinks that he knows everything, this and that. Look, and these days, there are so many things that you can find out on your own. Okay,
yeah.
The Standard Organization of Nigeria and the DPR, they've set parameters for the quality control parameters that must be adhered to before any before PMS can be passed fit to be used. One of the conditions is that it must be very clear and very bright. This one that you are seeing failed that test. There is also what is called oxidation level.
Okay.
The sun oxidation level, oxidation stability level is 329 minutes. For this one, it is 329 minutes, but sun specification is 360 minutes. So you see that clearly it was in breach of the oxidation level.
That's it.
The level of methanol as an additive that can be used, can be tolerated in this contest is just between 2 to 3%. This particular product had 20% methanol level.
Yeah, in it.
Now, apart from that, there is also the density, the density level.
Yeah.
It also failed the test of density level. So if anyone just comes and tells us, oh, we didn't know that methanol was not the only issue for which this product was not good enough. It failed the test across board. It failed the test across board. So it's not just issue of methanol. They can easily hang on that methanol and say, oh, it's because of methanol. No.
Yeah.
Other testing parameters put in place. This particular PMS failed it. Now, it has told us that from the same port where petrol came from, that 5 vessels coming from that side, they had told them not to bet in Nigeria. But we were also told earlier by these practice liars that the reason that they had no reason to doubt these people because they had been trustworthy and they had been supplying us PMS for so long.
Over time.
Now you are saying, okay, 5 vessels coming from that port. We simply said, no, don't come into Nigeria because of what had happened. Anybody could bring in any type of product, but we've got to have systems in place, structures in place that look at what is brought in. And if it's not good enough, then you cannot sell to our marketers. But that's what we've done.
You know,
how can anybody allow this to go to filling stations? This particular video, it was at a depot that we got it.
Obviously, pictures don't tell lies.
No, they do not.
So
how can anybody allow this?
The situation has been breached. Will anybody be punished?
The way they are lying all over the place, believing they can deceive everybody, you know that they are just trying to find a way to gloss over this matter. But anybody who can set his country back monetarily, the way these fellows have done, this has to be punished.
Look at that. Look at
this
that.
Has to be. This is the same country where a poor man steals a goat, and he goes to jail.
Or a telephone.
Or a telephone. It could even be lynched.
Even a tuber of yam.
Yes.
You could lose your life.
I mean, theft is theft.
All right. So let that debate continue, to be or not to be. To our next story. You know, as the oversight body responsible for the appointment, promotion, and discipline of officers and men, except the Inspector General, the Police Service Commission, PSC, on Thursday announced the suspension of 2 officers working directly under the embattled Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari. The 2 officers are Assistant Superintendent James Bauer and Assistant Commissioner James, there are 2 of them. And they are alleged to be involved in the current cocaine seizure and transfer to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Meanwhile, the NDLEA has said it is ready to prosecute Abba Kyari and all those involved in the 25-kilogram cocaine deal. According to Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Jide, anything that will go wrong will go wrong.
Yes, if it's meant to go wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's Murphy's Law.
If it is contrived to go wrong, then it will go wrong. It's unfortunate that we have this scandal, you know, happening at this time. Somebody that we respected so much, from, is put us to shame in this manner. And it's not...
Did anybody see it coming? No.
No. At least not this one. Maybe we expected his indictment over the hush puppy
That's
affair.
it, yeah.
And I expected this indictment because I want to believe that the Americans have done a good job. These people don't simply arraign you in court.
For nothing.
They will have done due diligence so that by the time they take you before the court, you know that the die is cast.
People on the defense.
You know that you have no reason to waste the time of the court. That was what happened to James Ibori. And James Ibori didn't waste the time of the court. So he got a little bit lenient sentencing because they will have done their work thoroughly. The people who worked with James Ibori on that scandal, they all went to jail. His wife, his lawyer, you know, they went to jail. Even his girlfriend went to jail. So in this case, I want to believe that the Americans have done a good job. So I was just hoping, okay, what will happen? And then we kept delaying, as is consistent with us in the country.
Yeah.
There are some people who say, no, don't do this, don't. This guy has been so good over the years. Let's not disgrace him. Let's find a way to deal with this situation. And then we were wasting time. With the police did not quite come up with the kind of report of his investigation that the Police Service Commission was happy about. Because at the end of the day, if you rig the investigation, it is Nigeria that has been shamed. The shame will be shared. Yeah. That is why what some people do not realize, it is to everyone's shame that a man that some of us tipped for even Inspector General Police's job in future could end up in this way. Yeah. So now all of the people who have been working with him, this comrade at arms, they need to be investigated.
Yeah.
Because who knows other scandals that they have been involved in? Who knows the atrocities that they have been involved with in that are not even public knowledge yet? So they've got to investigate them, put them in custody, extract maybe some confessional statement from them, and then we can hopefully face prosecution. The police must know that, yes, one of his stars, the only policeman alive who has won the Inspector General's prize 2 times, is already now has put this force to shame.
Yeah.
But it has to move beyond him, because it does not personify the police. It does not personify the police. The longer this gets, I know that the Police Service Commission set a time limit that, look, within 2 weeks, decide this matter.
Yeah.
Set up a new team to investigate this. This is not a time to try to cover up anything. Because when we see videos, we know that this is empirical evidence.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
So do your findings. Let us move on from this matter.
But it tells me one thing: if the police means to do a job, they will do it.
Yes, but this vacillation over this matter suggests to people that they are not prepared to do a decent job, and that is why some Nigerians have come up with this conspiracy theory that they just want to this whole thing is meant to ensure that it does not get extradited to America. By our conduct, we must let our people, we must cause our people to trust our actions. If our people don't trust our actions, all this kind of nasty theories will keep flying all over the place, because it makes no sense to say that they are trying to stop his extradition. No.
All right, we'd love to go on, but let's go on this commercial break. When we come back, BC will lend the weight of our voice to the subject. All right, welcome back. BC, but the saga of Abba Kyari is telling you that bad things also happen to good people.
Well, I don't know if bad things happen to good people.
You don't know whether this is a good person.
Exactly, because I don't know whether this is a good person. I can't say for sure that it's a good person, because I do not see. Remember that he's on suspension.
Yeah.
When this happened. So if Abba Kyari is really a sensitive person, I don't think this is even the time that he should have been caught with anything like this.
Yeah.
So that it happened at a time like this shows that whatever he could have been doing, like my people will say, has entered into his blood. Has probably, let me use the word probably, entered into his blood, such that he couldn't control himself. Otherwise, this is not the time, because he should be more concerned about the hush puppy case and how to get out of that. So for this to happen, and for the kind of evidence that we saw against him, shows that our super cop may have some hidden things that we didn't know about, and which is very sad. Because if you hear the name of Kyari, the thing that comes to your mind is super cop. That is what comes to your mind. So even the hush puppy case was bad enough.
When he came on the national, when he came to limelight in the aftermath of the arrest of Evans, I said, here comes the man we've been looking for.
Exactly.
Went to Imo State, and the story was...
There is no way, if you're a crime reporter, you'll be in love with Abba Kyari. That's the point.
He will give you stories.
He will give you stories. He will give you stories, and he will cooperate with you as a journalist. So you can just imagine.
Look at that. He never knew.
He didn't know. He didn't know. But those ones, they are. It's not the only one, really. It's a cartel. It's a cartel.
It is.
It is a cartel. But the thing is this. I watched a video, I think in Thailand, of a police officer that took a bribe.
$3.
And the way that police officer was dealt with, that policeman was derobed publicly. In public. In the presence of, and he was crying. He was crying.
That's the end.
Because he brought shame. So we should not treat Abba Kyari. The police force is bigger than him.
Of course,
So we should not, the Nigerian police should not allow him to rubbish the image of the force. I think we should treat this case, give it the kind of attention it deserves. This is just too bad.
That's it.
This is just too bad.
If police compromise, they will never recover from
exactly
from
this. Yes.
At this stage?
At this stage, I think it's even too late. But let's just be cautious. I remember on this program, I was telling Mayor that look, this is Nigeria. Let's just take things easy. We never can tell what can happen. And what I was warning him about, a few days later, that's what happened. That was in respect of that boy that was killed, that student. And they said, this time we are sure that justice will be served. Has justice been served now? You know, where the DPP's report contradicts that of the police. Has justice been served? So in our country, we really have to be careful. But
anything is possible.
The whole world is watching us. The whole world is watching us.
Yeah.
If we do not handle this matter well, even some of the countries that used to collaborate with us in terms of smashing crime and all that, they will see us as people that they don't need to take seriously.
And you know, especially coming after Transparency International's last verdict.
Yes,
you know, and
we have to show the world that look, in our country, this sort of thing would not be tolerated.
Can still come out regardless.
Yeah,
so
got to
the perception must change.
Yeah.
All right, then, to our next story. You know, ahead of the July 16, 2022 governorship election in Osun State, the February 19 Osun primary promises to be a battle of wits and grades. The three combatants say it all. Incumbent helmsman Adegboyega Oyetola, who is a member of the All Progressive Congress caretaker national leadership, Moshood Adeoti, two-time local government chairman and former state secretary to the state government with the support of former governor and minister of the interior, Ralph Aregbesola, and Honorable Lasun Yusuf, a former deputy speaker of the House of Reps. No doubt it is an intimidating field, but the day belongs to the elector. At the end of the day, the elector carries the day. What he says is final.
Yes, and in this case, Osun, just like Ekiti, I've opted for the APC in Osun State. I've opted for direct primaries.
That's it.
I like the direct primary module for choosing standard bearers of political parties because it's more participatory and, in my view, even more transparent than the situation in which a few people get selected to go
handpicked.
Yes, to go and decide for millions of people. You know, so now there would be flashpoints, places where this election will be decided.
Okay.
Yes. You know, if it was primary election, maybe they would just put everybody in the hall. I mean, if it was indirect, so put everybody in the hall. You know, there's nothing like election taking place simultaneously in different parts of the state. But this time around, that's what is going to happen. Across the state, election will take place.
So it's like a modicum. It's like
a mini election proper.
Mini state election.
You know,
governorship election.
What would happen here can actually be the foretaste of what will happen in the main election. I have no doubt at all in my mind that whoever wins the primaries
will truly
on Saturday
truly be representative of what
would win the governorship election proper. That is what I'm sure of, because given the seriousness with which the candidates, the aspirants are going about this project, including the mudslinging that is going on, you know that they will not want to take this lightly. And talking about the flashpoints, Ilesha comes to my mind, because Ilesha is where former Governor Aregbesola comes from, but there are so many powerful people who are Governor Oyetola's supporters who are also from Ilesha, including Ilesha East, where the governor comes from. Where the former governor comes from. Ogbeni is from Ilesha East. The speaker, the current speaker, is also from Elisha
East.
Member representing that federal constituency is also from Elisha. Professor Adewale, the middle past Minister of Health, is also from Elisha. The Subeb chairman, who is the DG of Oyetola campaign, that's Famurewa, who was in the House of Reps for 2 terms during Aregbe's time. He's from Takumosa, but you know, it's the same federal constituency with Elisha. So that is also where that's where the governor, he was the former governor's representative in the House of Reps. That's the point that I wanted to
make. No wonder you said the flashpoint. That's the flashpoint.
Yes, I'm looking at where that contest will be fierce, because I know that Aregbesola would want to do his best to win his constituency. Elisha East and Elisha, the entire Elisha, but he has to contend against people like the chief of staff. The chief of staff to the governor is also from Elisha.
Wow.
So the battle is going to be, yes, it's a real battleground. But when you move away from, I think, Honorable Ayene too, Ayene is also from Elisha, and of course, Honorable Batunde Komolafe from Atakumosa. So that federal constituency is the main battleground, not because it has more votes than other places. Osogbo still has more registered APC members than other areas. But in terms of the way how fierce the contest will be in that area, that's why I take it as a flashpoint, and we've got to look out for possible violence and all that from that area. And then when you Ife, I see Ife as a no-go area for the incumbent governor, because he has everything going for him. There, you know that Omishore, the former deputy governor, has never lost an election in that area since 1999.
He's an Ife son.
Yes, and he's the governor's supporter. You know, the quantum of votes from Ife is always significant. It can determine who wins an election.
Okay, it swings.
And he has been going around letting people realize that he's for the governor. When the governor has an event, you see Omishore sitting in front.
Wow.
You know, so he has support, the governor has support from that area. Of course, if not, all of this, Senator Omawurare is who was 2-term senator under Governor Aregbesola, who was majority leader in the House of Assembly in Lagos, and who is currently an SSA to President Buhari. He's also from Ife. Even his elder sister, Nike Omawurare, the DG of the Abuja liaison office, is also from Ife. So that's why I said that area is locked up. That area is locked down. That's the word for the governor. Ife is locked down for the governor.
But this is not to wish away the influence of Moshood Adeoti.
We are here to get to where I think he's going to do well. I'm just looking at flashpoints where we could have a tough contest, but I'm also talking about where the governor appears to be strong, and if not, where you have Honorable Latunji, the majority whip, and Honorable Bamishayemi, you know, 2-term House of Assembly member. There, from that area, then of course, coming to Osogbo, which is the
real deal.
Yes, the state capital. We have the 2-term cabinet member in the cabinet of Aregbesola. That's Ajibola Bashir, the spokesman of the Senate. Is probably the most effective politician from that constituency now. I don't think he can do 3 weeks outside of Osogbo. He will come home. He's done well. He's become a grassroots person and become very effective. And then, of course, remember the deputy governor, Laoye Tomori, now Laoye Ponle, is from Olonda. Olonda is the second local government outside within Osogbo, you know, and she's the leader of the Oyetola campaign in that area, and also the face of swagger in the state. So the governor has her on side. Then Lasun, talking about the record, I expect the former Senate, I think Senate leader also at that time.
House of Reps, Deputy.
No, Honorable. I'm talking about Senator Yusuf Lasun.
Okay.
You know, he's from Ilobu, and he's very strong in that area.
Deputy Speaker.
No, House was a senator.
Okay.
House of Reps. Sorry.
House of Reps, yeah.
Yes, Deputy Speaker.
That's one Yusuf.
I remember now. And Adeoti from Iwo is going to do well over there in Ejigbo. Not Jim Salam, the former speaker. He remains a loyal supporter of Aregbesola. He's going to do well in that area. Of course, we also have a good number of the governor's supporters, the former governor's supporters from that area. But it's shaping up to be a tough contest. 37,000 voters in Osogbo alone, higher than any other area. Irekodun has just 20,000 registered APC members. So you know where the parties need to work hard. It has to be Osogbo. And I can tell you, whatever happens, the conflict will go on after this election. So party leaders need to move in and try to reconcile these persons. Yes, since they've chosen to remain in the party.
Yeah. Just a minute. We'll make some money. We'll go for commercials and come back. Please don't go away. All right. BC Jide has spoken so copiously about the chances of the incumbent governor. But this is not to throw away the challenge of former Governor Aregbesola. I'm looking at Moshood Adeoti and, of course, Lasun Yusuf.
Well, I'm curious, really, to see what will happen tomorrow, and I'm sure many people are also curious. Not even with the kind of campaign that we've been seeing in the past 1 week, and the accusation and counter accusation from different parties. Actually, before now, I would say I was thinking that there shouldn't be any problem for Oyetola. Ordinarily, and based on what I think he did when he came to power. And I will just mention two things. I know that before he became governor in Osun State, the issue was about half salary. And I think when he got to power, he reversed that and he began to pay people's full salary, to the point that people were asking, where is he getting money from? And you know, Osun State is more or less a civil service state. Yes. So I'm thinking that he would...
Like Akwa Ibom.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, he should have won the hearts of the people.
That's it.
And also the kind of commotion, I put that in quotes, that characterized the educational system in the state before he became governor. When he came on board also, he also tried to douse tension, and since he came, there has been a relatively calm and peace in that direction. However, when I now began to see the kind of campaigns by the former governor and also the people that were going on with him, and the way he was also talking about his relevance and his power. I knew I watched a particular video where he told the supporters that they should stop referring to themselves as a factional APC, but that they are the real and the original APC. That in fact they are the ones that the Oyetola faction is trying to contest with. Oh. So that gives you the impression that this is also a powerful force, and that is why I say personally I'm so eager to see what is going to play out tomorrow, because it will have a lot of implication for what is going to happen in the future. Because I'm looking at a situation where if all the things that former Governor Regbe said about this election and it couldn't win, that would be a serious matter. If his side did not win, that would be a serious matter. But interestingly too, the Oyetola camp has been relatively calm. You get it?
More like saying, keep them guessing.
Exactly. So you now can't really say who is the power, who is more powerful in this equation. Is it the Aregbe or the... I do not think much about the third, the Lasun aspect. I don't really think much about that. It's like, for me, the battle is between the Aregbe's faction and the incumbent governor, and I'm really curious to see how everything is going to play out, even though from what we read in the media, the kind of support that the traditional rulers, the different party members and the rest have been talking about the governor, which is expected because he is the one in power right now, and you expect that these people are likely
there's this thinking, rightly or wrongly, that an incumbent has a way of swinging at the last minute.
Well, I also believe so too. Me, I'm even thinking, well, but I don't really know, but I'm curious. I really want to know what will play out.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yes, I will. I will.
It begs the question, do you think they see this thing tilting anyway?
Well, there can only be one direction this thing will go. This election will be similar to the APC governorship primary election in Ekiti. It's just going to be similar, because in this kind of situation, big individuals influence the pattern of voting, including at the council level of councillors, state level, wards and all that. Those structures are in the hands of the incumbent governor. There are 26 persons in the House of Assembly. APC has 23. 2 of the 23 are Aregbe supporters.
Okay.
The rest are for the governor. Yes. You have the House of Reps, 6 House of Reps members, 2 senators, 1 for the incumbent governor, 1 supporting the former governor. That's Oriolo. You know, you have a place like Ikire, where the finance commissioner comes from, Patricia Ite, you know, the deputy governor is also from Ikire.
The same
Patricia? Yes, and she's a supporter of Oyetola. You know how you're made, you know, popular and powerful female politician, you know. She's also from Ikire and supporting the governor. There can be only one direction that this victory, this pendulum of victory will swing.
Well, mine is to adopt a look-see attitude. They say be magnanimous in victory. So it's not a winner takes all.
Yes, especially when they are in the same party. I expect that even after the contest, party leaders will be able to bring them together and put the rancorous primaries behind them and work for the party.
Yeah.
If they can't achieve that, then it will be too bad. But it's already, they take the election seriously. The ambassador to Mexico is from Ede. He came into Nigeria today for a primary election. You know? Really? And he's a supporter of the governor.
Okay. Governor Oyetola, we wish you well. Former Governor Aregbesola, we wish you well. We are middlemen, in all of this. But let the thing play out according to the rules. Because even when two elephants indulge in a love tango, BC is the same grass that suffers.
That will suffer, yeah.
The grass is the host.
All right, so that will just about do it for the program today. If you missed this edition, not to worry. On Sunday, there's an expanded 2-hour show from 1:30. Join us at that time. Of course, just to tell you, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. On behalf of Jide and BC Deji Folutile, right? Yeah. Folutile. And the Backroom Boys, thank you very kindly. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye now.